Today is yoga for anxiety, 60-minute class. It's going to be a little bit challenging today. I'm going to move and breathe and try and get rid of some excess energy. See what happens. So, if you have some yoga blocks, grab them. If you have a blanket for end of practice, grab that. If you don't have a yoga block, grab something about that size. If you don't have it, don't worry, you can make do without them. And then we're going to start on our seat. So come to a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you. Just find your hips on the ground or even on a chair. If you are more comfortable on a chair, there are no prizes for sitting in an easy seat in yoga. So find a seat that works for you. Don't push yourself into an uncomfortable position just because you think you should. So find a seat. Find your hips even. And then start to imagine some of the pressure coming off each of the vertebrae, getting a little taller, not getting straighter, not pulling your shoulders back and pulling your chin back, but getting taller from the crown of the head. So if somebody just tied a string to the top of your head and was just gently pulling it a little bit longer. Bring your hands to fists, squeeze them and make them really tight and feel the tension in your hands and then feel that tension start to build up your arms, maybe even into your chest and neck. Take a deep breath in and squeeze really, 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 really tight and then suddenly let that go. So really noticing what it felt like to be gripping and then notice what it feels like to be soft and at ease from the fingertips all the way up to the shoulders. Maybe even begin to bring your eyes closed and start to really land in this present moment in time. Start to lengthen your breath. Bring a little more softness into the torso. Make space for your breath. Run your attention around your body. Feel your feet, your knees, your ankles, your hips. Feel around your back, really taking in all of the physical sensations in the body, perhaps noticing some points of tension that you maybe were not paying attention to. Check in around the temples, the center of the forehead, around the jaw. And then bring one hand to the center of the chest, doesn't matter which, and another hand just below the ribcage. Connect with the sensation and warmth of your own hands. And then imagine you could breathe from the hand on the top all the way down to the hand on the bottom, and then all the way back up. Breathing in from the hand on the heart, hand on the chest center, down to the hand just below the ribs, and the solar plexus, and then all the way back. Imagine this energy connection channel. Imagine a clear channel of energy from the hand to the hand on the heart to the hand on the solar plexus and then all the way back. Imagine this space free of holding patterns and tension. And then bring the lower hand down to the lower stomach. And again, imagine you're breathing in from the top hand to the bottom hand, and then from the bottom hand to the top hand. Imagine this path free of tension, free of holding patterns. Imagine connecting your heart center, your metaphysical heart center, to your base, to your grounding. And then finally bring the hand on the top to the forehead, the hand on the bottom, to the forehead. And imagine this time you're breathing from the forehead down to the heart and then all the way back up. And again, imagine this channel of energy is free of holding patterns, free of tension. Then gently allow both palms to land face up in your lap, wherever is comfortable. Soften a little more in the shoulders. And this time imagine a clear channel of energy from the crown of the head all the way down the spine to the tip of the tailbone and all the way back up. Imagine breathing down fresh energy down your spine and sweeping away tension and holding patterns, things no longer needed with the exhale. And bring your chin slowly down towards your chest. Feel the tension on the back of the neck. Just notice what's holding, what's here. Bring the chin slowly back to neutral and all the way up to the ceiling, and notice the front of the neck. Back to neutral, right ear to right shoulder. Really check in on that left side. You can tuck the left hand behind your back. See if you can change the angle of the chin a little slowly, finding the tension, finding the holding patterns on the left side of the neck. Bring the chin back to neutral, and then left ear to left shoulder, right hand tucks behind the back. And then play with the angle, find point of tension, just checking in, feeling your own neck. And then bring the chin back to neutral. Bring the shoulders slowly as you can all the way up to the ears, squeezing the shoulders. And then send the shoulders backwards, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Keep them high. Notice any compensation patterns. Notice if you lean the torso forward. Try to keep up to nice and tall. Squeeze the shoulder blades down just a teeny bit, like half an inch. Squeeze them down a little bit more. Still squeezing the shoulder blades together. Find the muscles in between the shoulder blades. Bring it down a little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more, still squeezing together, and then bring it all the way back up, nice and slow. Bring it all the way to the ears. Take a deep breath in, squeezing as tight as you can, and then with the exhale, loosen everything down. Let it soften. If you have a block, grab a block. If you don't have it, you're just going to hold your hands out and imagine you're squeezing a block. If you have the block, squeeze the block. Find a little tension. So find a little pressure between your hands. Find the muscles in your chest and your arms. Get a little taller. Notice any compensations in the lower back. Squeeze the stomach a little more just to keep the spine up nice and sturdy. Squeeze Squeeze the block. Slowly bring the block up overhead or bring your arms up overhead. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Slowly. Keeping that squeeze, bring your chin down to your chest. Bring your chin all the way to the ceiling. Back to neutral, ear to shoulder. Another ear to shoulder. Squeezing the block still. Bring it back to neutral. Bring the block down to about shoulder height, still squeezing. And then same thing, chin to chest. Squeeze the block a little more. Chin to ceiling. Back to neutral, ear to shoulder. Back to neutral, ear to the other shoulder. Back to neutral, turn your chin to a shoulder. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the block. See if you can find those muscles behind the shoulder blades. Bring it back to neutral on the other side. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. And then back to neutral. Take your block behind you, squeeze it. Again, if you just push your arms, imagine you're squeezing them up, works too. Squeeze and hold. Notice if your lower back is doing this work. So try to make it all about your arms and shoulders. Squeeze. And then take little pulses of the block behind you. So lifting away from the body. Little tiny pulses, squeezing the block. Trying not to lean the torso forward to make this a bigger movement. Keep the torso up. Keep the arms engaged, shoulders engaged, neck tall. Take the tension out of the face. And then let that go and take some flicks. Flick it out, loosen the arms, loosen the shoulders. And then bring your hands back to your lap. Take your chin down to your chest and notice if there's any differences in the tension in the back of the neck. Bring your chin to the ceiling. Back to neutral, ear to shoulder. Just notice if there seems to be a little more freedom or not. Sometimes it doesn't work. Bring it back all the way to the other side. Bring it back and then make your way to a tabletop position. So finding a tabletop that works for you today, wherever your hands and wrists and shoulders feel nice and comfortable. We're going to move and breathe. Inhaling forward, exhaling back towards a child. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Trying to tune in and have an internal experience. Feel the hands on the ground. Try to connect breath with movement. Making this more about an internal experience and finding a perfect shape. And then tuck the toes, coming back to a tabletop. Bring the knees to a little hover and tabletop. Fire up the chest and shoulders. Squeeze the stomach. Now we're going to do that same movement. Inhale forward. Exhale, send the hips backwards with the knees hovering. Inhale forward. Exhale backwards. Starting to really fire up the chest and shoulders. Arms. You can stay simple. You can go back to tabletop child. Or if you'd like, come forward. Bring a knee towards an elbow. Bring it back. Inhale forward, knee, opposite knee to the other knee to the other elbow. So right knee to right elbow. Left knee to left elbow. Bringing the knee with you as you come forward. Engage stomach. Engage shoulders and arms. Not just flinging around in space. Engage legs. And then lower down, child's pose. Sink into the pose. What can you release? Slowly make your way all the way down to crocodile pose. Stomach down, one hand on top of the other. Forehead down and shimmy the hips. Let go. Soften into the mat. Find your breath. Slowly slide the left knee towards the left elbow, left shoulder. Flex the foot. Press the heel into the ground. From this position, you're going to try and press the heel into the ground and lift the left knee. The sensation of lifting is what you're looking for. You're probably not going to get much lift. So pulse on and off, lifting that knee. Very small, subtle movement. Press the heel into the ground. Fire up the entire leg. Fire up the glutes. Fire up the hip. And then slowly slide that back. Bring the heel towards the glute. Maybe even catch the foot. You catch the foot, you can press your foot into your hand. Fire up the quad in that direction. Or pull the foot towards the glute. Two different stretches. Slowly let the foot go. If you have it, switch sides. Right knee comes towards right shoulder. Plant the right heel down and then pulse, lift that right knee up off the ground. And again, you're not going to get much lift. If you can even lift it off the ground, it'll be a surprise. Lift the knee.
There's any lift. You're getting lift?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't be surprised if you can't lift your knee. You're just trying.
People that can lift it?
Yes, there are.
I thought this was physically impossible.
No. At one point, I was strong enough to lift it about half an inch, but that was when I was doing it all the time.
I can lift. If I, like.
Yes. If you compensate somewhere else, you can lift.
If I use my entire body, I think I can lift it enough to get maybe.
Slide the knee back, bring the heel to the glute, maybe reach for it. Let the foot go slowly, no slingshotting. Bring the hands in by the shoulders. Try to take the tension out of the neck, get the spine really long, and then we're going to just roll the shoulders one at a time backwards. Nice soft circle. And then bring your upper body up a little bit more, and you're going to turn, look at the left foot, and turn, look at the right. Just finding some movement through the upper back and shoulders. Maybe starting to drop one shoulder towards the ground as you turn, finding a little movement. And then back to crocodile pose. Shimmy, release, reset. We're going to move and breathe here, lifting shoulders. You can bring your hands down to the ground to support you. If you're ready for a challenge, you're going to keep your hands by your forehead, up near your forehead. You're going to inhale, lift whole body. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift shoulders, elbows, arms, head, toes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Try to think about lifting your shoulders more than lifting your head. Take the tension and the work out of the neck and make it a whole back experience. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze the back of the legs. Maybe start to draw the elbows up and then back, down your back. And then bring it back to crocodile. Shimmy, release, reset. Tuck the toes, press the hands into the ground, pull the stomach up off the ground, and then lift all the way up. Knees down, plank pose, and then down dog. Find a down dog. Find some movement in your down dog, maybe taking heels side to side, maybe bending the knees. So it feels good in your body to warm up this pose. Connect with your hands on the ground, making lots of room for your wrists by pulling your body up out of the ground, not sinking into the joints. And then find the stillness of the pose. Connect with your head below your heart. Find nice, slow breath. Inhale as you slowly lift the right leg towards the ceiling. Exhale as you bring right knee towards right elbow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze in. Then lower the knee. Bring it back. Back up. Bring it in, lower, back up, and then all the way to three-legged dog. And then take three-legged dog and take a giant circle with the right leg. And then step the right foot behind the right wrist. Find a low lunge, inhaling forward, exhaling towards straight. You can use your blocks to help you not sink into the joints. Bring the ground a little closer. Find low lunge, lift up off the thigh, spin the back foot down, and we're going to rise up to warrior two. So adjust your feet, find your base. Very strong in your base. See if you can have even weight across the legs. So even strength in the legs, not sinking down into the hip, but using the leg muscles. And then arms out. Move and breathe here. Inhale, lifting up, reverse triangle. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Find your breath. Find a warrior two. Find the stillness of the pose. Flip the palms. Change the shoulders. You You can return to that same moving and breathing, or if you would like to have a little challenge, you might want to pop the back leg in a little bit. We're going to move across the feet. We're going to move across the direction of the hips. So we want to be nice and easy to move in that back leg. We're going to inhale up. This time we're going to roll all the way forward. The back foot comes to the ball of the foot. Left hand comes towards right shoulder. Inhale as we come up, reverse triangle. Roll forward, nice and slow and control. Sweeping forward. So you should start to feel this in the hips and the outside of the hips. Your core should be engaged. Try to find strength in the legs, control in the legs. Maybe even bending this back leg a lot as you come down. And then finish in warrior two. Find the stillness of the pose. Bring the front leg towards straight. Start to send the torso out. So strong and long torso. Press the right hand away from you. Hold. Watch this front knee. Make sure you're not locking it. Press into the ground. Pull up out of the ground with the right leg. Float your triangle a little further away. Hold and hover. Feel the challenge. You want even more of a challenge, you're going to bring this left arm around as if you're holding a beach ball. And then back into a warrior two. Pivot on the back foot, frame out the front. Find the ground with your hands. Right foot meets left, high plank. Breathe in, hold. Lift up out of the ground. Maybe a little soft bend in the knees, a tug of the pelvis. Get a little longer from the heels to the crown of the head. And you can maybe in child's, or if you like the challenge, we're going to bring knee to elbow as we did before. Squeeze knee to elbow and back. Knee to elbow and back. Slow and with control. Lower the knees. Find a child's pose. Release and reset. Make your way to a down dog. Find your breath in down dog. Slowly inhale as you lift the left leg high. Exhale, bring the knee to elbow. Inhale high. Exhale in. Inhale high. Exhale. And then bring it in, lower, bring it up, back to three-legged dog. Knee to elbow, lower, back, three-legged dog. Lift this left leg really high. Take a really slow circle. And then step the left leg towards the left wrist. Find your low lunge movement, inhaling forward, exhaling towards straight. Finding engagement from both feet. Not just moving in space, but feeling your muscles, warming the muscles. And then lower the back foot down. Right foot comes down. And then rise up. Warrior two. Find your base. Find that place where there's even strength in the legs. You're lifting up out of the ground with all of your muscles, not just hanging out in the joints. And then find your arms. We'll move and breathe. Inhaling, lifting up, reverse triangle. Exhaling back to a warrior two. Inhale up. Exhale back nice and slow with control. Connecting with muscles. Connecting with your breath. Hold the warrior two. Check in on your base, see if it's good for balance. Really find your base, flip your palms for a little bit. Notice the difference in your shoulders. And then either returning to that same movement, inhale, reverse triangle, exhale, warrior two. Or inhale, reverse triangle, exhale, you're gonna cartwheel over. Right hand comes towards left foot. Inhale as we come back to triangle, reverse triangle. Exhale, cartwheel over. Really strong and engaged in the legs. And make your way back to warrior two. Find a solid base. Frame out the front foot, pivot on the back foot, frame out the foot. Left foot meets right, high plank. Breathe and hold. Make a little more space, maybe wiggling your toes backwards, a little bend in the knees. And we're going to slowly lower the elbows towards the ground. Only go as far as you feel strong. Lower towards the ground, and then bring back. Lower towards the ground, and bring back. Feel free to drop the knees. And then drop the knees. Lower the forearms, engage the forearms. So pull the arms as if you're trying to pull your shoulders apart, pull the mat apart. And then take the tension out of the neck. Lower the shoulders towards the ground. So still a little bit engaged in the arms. And then find a child's pose. Release, soften, reset. Find your breath. Make your way to a down dog. Find your breath. Inhale the right leg high. Exhale, bend the knee. Step it behind the right wrist and breathe in as you come all the way up. High lunge. Find a steady high lunge. Find your base. Even use of the legs. Soften the low back. And then torso forward. Bring the left foot to meet the right. Little chair. Sink it down. Take the tension out of the back. Squeeze the stomach a little more. Active legs. Soft shoulders. Soft face. We're going to move and breathe a little bit. Just connecting with our breath. Inhale. Raise the arms up overhead. Connect your prayer. Exhale. Sink it back down to chair, prayer to heart. Inhale. Lift. Lengthen. Exhale. Full body engaged. Legs engaged. Everything you can find, start to turn it on, but not too much. Engaging, feeling, having an internal experience. But soften the face, soften the temples, soften the breath. And then sink it down. So find that place where you're nice and engaged, but you're not too overstressed in your chair. We're not looking for a really low squat. Find engagement. So feel like you're pulling the feet away from each other. So the whole leg is fired up. Squeeze the stomach as if you're trying to pull your hip bones together. And then bring the weight onto the left foot. See if you can lift the right foot without too much movement in the hips. You're going to bring the right knee right over that left. We're not looking for a full eagle wrap. So just bring it over the left. Maybe sink it down a teeny bit more. Bring the left elbow underneath the right. And you can wrap the hands or just bring them together. Squeeze elbows towards knees. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. You don't want that toe wrap because we're going to move. So squeeze in. And then slowly lift up and then fly out. Squeeze in. See if you can make this movement happen without thinking too much. And then slowly fly out. Watch your balance be challenged. Feel the wobbles. Whew. Come to a warrior three. Hold, get long from the hips to the crown of the head. Lengthen the right leg a little more. Slowly lower the right leg down. High lunge on the other side. Find your high lunge. And then upper body forward. Right leg meets left. Little chair. We'll connect back in with our breath. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Sink it down. Find a solid chair. Engaging the legs. Engaging the stomach. Soft back, shoulders, and face. Weight onto the right leg. Left leg comes to the ball of the foot. Try not to make too much hip movement. Cross it over the right. Right arm under left. And either wrapping or just holding the hands. And we're going to squeeze elbows in towards knees. Try not to get too tight because we're moving and breathing. So come on up and fly. Squeeze in and and squeeze. Challenge your balance. This should be really hard. Find a warrior three. Hold and get long. Long from the hips to the crown of the head. Whew. Strong back leg. Slowly lower the left leg. Back to high lunge. And bring out the front foot. Right foot meets left. Lower the right knee behind the right wrist. And then come on over to a half baby move. Left leg long, left arm can raise up. Press the hips towards the ceiling, squeeze the core. Maybe lift and hover this top leg. If you're ready for the challenge, bring the left foot down, bring the right foot to meet the left. Slowly return the right leg, left hand down, left foot, left knee behind left wrist. And then maybe half moon on the other side. Lift the hips up out of the ground, squeeze the core. Soften the face, find the breath. Ready for the challenge, lower the right foot, send the left foot to meet it, side plank. Bring it back through tabletop. Find child's reset. Soften and release. Maybe trying to bring your palms face up on the ground. Take a little softness out of the hand into the hands. Releasing even more gripping. Slowly bring upper torso up, swing it over to a hip, swing the feet around, and take some soft wiggles with the legs. And then make your way to your back. We're going to have feet down, knees up. No, it's not too fast to time. We still have some work to do. So we did a lot of hip work. All of that balancing work. The twisting windmill kind of shape. It was all in the hips. So we're going to give a little release to our hips. So press your feet down into the ground just a little bit. And then just softly roll over the sacrum. So your pelvis tilts a little bit up and a little bit down. But try to just do this without muscular action. Just kind of softly moving through this movement. Sometimes this little soft roll can just adjust some of the tension that's holding in the hips, and especially in the low back and sacrum area. So that was release number one. Now you're going to press into your feet just a little bit. So we're not looking for super turned on strong muscles, just connected, grounded feet. You're going to lift your hips, maybe even enough to slide your hands under, but not too much. And then you're just going to let them plop. So lift and plop, lift and plop. Try to be soft in the hips. So try to let this wobble and vibrate as much as you can. Soften the legs a little more. And then maybe left and right. You can take left and right pulses with the feet to let the hips shuffle. So you're really looking to soften and loosen around the hips. Whatever feels better, wherever your tension is held, there'll be one way that works that feels better for you. So maybe pulses work, maybe left and right works, maybe you like them both, who knows. So just have a little internal experience. And then bring the knees together, feet apart. So this pose should be very, very comfortable. So make a little adjustment, make a little wiggle. If it's not feeling like your back is like, ah, your low back should feel very comfortable. Check in with your feet. If it's not comfortable, your feet might be too close or too far away from the glutes. So slide them around. Find that place where the knees can rest in and you kind of feel nice and secure in the base. And your hips feel nice and grounded. Bring your hands to your lower stomach and feel the warmth of your hands. Check in with the tension on the neck. Maybe you need to give the head a little shuffle. And feel the warmth of your hands on your torso. If it's comfortable, maybe even bringing them just above the hip bones, like right on the hip bones. Feeling the warmth of your hands, giving a little bit of weight to your hips. As if you're really grounding your hips, letting them know the ground is there. So that all the muscles that help the hips move can start to soften and take a break. You can start to feel supported by the ground. Maybe with this grounding sensation at the hips, you begin to feel sensations of tension elsewhere in the body. You might notice that your shoulders feel more tense than they did before, maybe because your hips feel a little less tense. Maybe you're free to notice a little more tension somewhere else in the body. Check. Have an internal experience. I don't know where you are holding your tension. Everyone is different. Everybody's patterns and stories are a little bit different. And even if we have a very similar injury, we can hold it very different. So have your internal experience. Check in around your knees, your ankles, your feet, your low back, even the armpits. Can you soften the shoulders a little bit more? And then you're going to bring your right hand over to your left shoulder and your left hand over to your right shoulder, crossing your arms just over your chest. And you can clasp your shoulders a little bit, almost like you're feeling a little protective hug. So we just got the hips to ground and soften. And now we're going to feel the shoulders all tightly compressed in, maybe even squeeze them in a little more. Feel what it's like to have this deeply closed up, folded in protective position. Feel the warmth of your hands on your shoulders. And then begin to soften your shoulders down to the ground, still keeping your hands there. So you may need to move your hands around, your elbows around a little. Check in that you didn't force the back of your neck to the ground. Bring your chin back up to the ceiling. Still feeling a little warmth of your hands on your shoulders. And then allow your hands to come to the side of the neck. Bring the warmth of your hands to the side of the neck. So all the muscles that hold up the skull, imagine warming them with your hands. Breathe. Very slowly unravel the left arm and take it to the ceiling. Take the hand to the ceiling. Unravel the right arm, take the hand to the ceiling, just above the shoulders. We're going to lift the shoulders up a little teeny bit off the ground and then give them the wobbles. So let them lift and drop as if somebody pulled your hands up to the ceiling and then let them drop. Up to the ceiling, let them drop. Try to get those little soft wiggles in the shoulders too. And then bring your hands together, rub them together, and make them really, really warm. Feel them nice and warm. And then bring both hands over your eyes as if sealing out all of the light. Imagine the warmth of your hands could rest and restore any tension around the eyes and temples. Slow breath. Slowly allow the shoulders and elbows to come to the sides, and then allow the hands to come to the ground nice and soft and slow, palms up. Take a little shuffle, see if you can get the shoulder blades to land a little heavier into the ground. Bring the lower jaw out, so push your lower jaw all the way to the ceiling. And then open wide. Bring your lower jaw open as far as it can go. Open wide and take the jaw to the left. And then to the right. And then stick the jaw out to the ceiling as far as it can go. And then pull it up. Grip your jaw together. Grip your lower and upper jaw together. Maybe even close in on your teeth. Make this muscular action with your upper and lower jaw. So really squeeze down your face. Take a deep breath in, squeeze a little more, and then with the exhale, release the lower jaw. Imagine it could just soften into the cheeks. Let all that muscular tension go around the jaw. Imagine that all that tension around the jaw is making so much softness that there's even more space for your hearing. There's less clamping around your ears. More space for the hearing. And then begin to find the breath. Observing it for a moment or two. Just watching it roll in and roll out, drawing you into present moment. And then release control of even the breath. See if you can bring your awareness to the back of your eyelids. And then from the back of your eyelids, imagine you could just gently fall backwards. As if in the center of your mind there's a soft pillowy cushion and you're just going to fall and be caught like a soft fluffy cloud. You're going to land right in the center of the mind. Notice the firings of the mind, the constant swirling of the thoughts. Notice that you can notice the thoughts. And then connect with the concept that you are something more than just those thoughts. You are the layer beneath all of those thoughts, beneath the fears, beneath the emotions, beneath the thoughts. As if you could sink backwards into a soft, fluffy cloud. Imagine resting in this space that is truly you. And not sweeping away the thoughts, not fighting the thoughts, not clearing the mind, but allowing the mind to do as it does, allowing the feelings to do as they do, allowing the physical body to do as it does, and just resting in this other space, the essential nature of yourself, the layer beneath all of those layers. Find your center. Rest here and let go. Whenever you get distracted, whenever the thoughts or the environment pulls you back away from your center, give yourself a little love and kindness and forgiveness, and then just try to gently return softly back to the center. If you found a comfortable place that you'd like to take more time in, please take as much time as your body needs. If you need to complete your practice within this 60-minute mark, begin to arrive back on the mat. Start to make little movements with the fingers and the toes. Softly awaken the body. And then gently bringing a knee in at a time towards the chest. Curl up in a little teeny tiny ball. And then curl over to either side, whichever side is calling to you, connecting to the ground, connecting to this pose, the fetal position. Reminding us of a time in the womb when all of our needs were met, and we had not judged ourselves as negative or positive. We were simply a spark of life. And we come to this pose to remind ourselves that this spark of life exists within us, unchanged by our experiences. Taking your time, slowly coming up to a seated position and bringing our hands to prayer at heart space. Connect connecting with this pose. Bringing our left and right sides to meet in front of our heart, as if accepting ourselves as whole and complete, precisely as we are. Accepting our swirling thoughts, our swirling emotions. Accepting that they are just part of our environment, part of the world we are living in. That we are not broken. We are whole and complete and on our own journeys. May we all know love, light, and connection. Thank you for joining us.